We're moving on to the Plankerton Trail. No, the Plankerton Trail. Collect storm intel for the journey to Plankerton Harbor. I cannot read. Complete a retrieve the data mission in a 34 plus zone. I've done a little bit of inventory management since last episode. Oh yeah. I completely forgot I had those. Okay, so this quest only requires us to do a retrieve the data mission in a 34 plus zone. No additional requirements aside from that. So I should obviously mention, by this point of the game, we've done retrieve the data so many times now. Oh, this thing's water element. I had no idea about that when I equipped it. So we've done retrieve the data missions multiple times already, and by this point, like considering it's one of the easier missions anyways, shouldn't be much of a challenge. Figured I would look around in this cave, but there isn't really anything in there. Thank you, Ray, for echoing in dialogue. Now, I think the data is going to be somewhere around here. Yeah, there it is. Oh, I don't like this spot. I really don't. I should mention that at the time of recording, there is some weird bug happening where enemies appear to be able to destroy wall traps. So I kind of want to keep that in mind because wall traps are a big part of the way that I play this game. So I'm going to try to build in a way that kind of accounts for that being a possibility. I think I'm going to use some pretty basic funneling here. So they're spawning here. I'm going to leave this area open because it looks like some enemies will drop down and some will actually spawn down here. Little basic tunnel. Nothing crazy, but basically considering it's a 34 zone and considering my own power level, 29, and my lack of stuff in general, what I want to do to make up for that is try to get a lot more damage into enemies before they actually like get to the data, which I will have a solid defense round as well. Do I have enough floor launchers? No, I don't. Okay, well that's fine because I can substitute floor launchers anyways. I'm gonna substitute the floor launchers with wooden floor spikes. And then these ramps will mostly just be to prevent them from hitting walls, which will then have wall darts behind them. Now we'll get our wall darts. Like I've shown and talked about somewhere previously, wall darts can shoot through these ramps. So enemies will stand here, they'll be getting hit by the wooden floor spikes. They'll be hitting this ramp, and then they will get hit by the wall darts. It also helps to have ceiling zappers up here, but I don't appear to have any that I can craft. So I'm going to do it without that. Do they have another way up along this ridge? No, they don't. They do have a way up potentially over... No, they don't. Okay, so these enemies will go in through this way. I will finish trapping that in a moment. What about these enemies? They're coming from really far away. I should probably once again mention, I don't take this game seriously. So I'm not like doing this like the best way you possibly can. Don't copy the way that I do things. I'm just doing this because it's funnier to make some real garbage of a defense and then have it work somehow. That's just the way I play this game, and I think that's why I still enjoy it so much. Is because I don't have to do every meta available to be able to be able to actually play the game well. I kind of just get that freedom of I can do whatever stupid build I want to try and just I can still make it work. Both these wall darts in random places, that's just to hit enemies for walking anywhere. Oh, I actually Probably not. But we could do that out of spite. Crafted my single sound wall that I could even afford. Now I'm using these not necessarily the best way I can. This is just to screw with enemies with the way that they're going to move anyways. And that's just to kind of slow them down a bit. Make them dance. Reality is, if you guys didn't notice this, I was actually stalling for time this entire time. I want the data to land naturally because there's a little bit of a trick here. And if you don't care about getting missions done as quickly as possible, like me, then you should actually take advantage of this. So so typically in retrieve the data, the balloon when you shoot it down, you have to defend for 16 files. However, if you're willing to take a bit more time, which you can actually easily use just to focus on your actual defense, you can actually wait for the balloon to land naturally, and by doing that, it goes down to from 16 to only 11 files. And so basically, by having this much of a reduction, you basically make the mission easier for yourself in a way because you have to now defend for less time. This whole time, I was actually stalling with my ridiculous build and all that was just to wait for this thing to land naturally. And so now that I got kind of the warning for it and it's this close, figured I should just say something. So we've got a minute and 40 seconds until it lands. But this is a trick that I use every once in a while just because it's ever so slightly shorter of a defense for the gain of like, you know, spending a bit less time during the mission, which means you don't have to hold out for as long, which helps when it's a difficult mission, I feel like. Okay, and I guess the balloon isn't going to despawn yet. So basically we have this tunnel that should be strong enough to hold out and kill enemies on its own. Using broadsides like this isn't perfect. I'm just doing it because it's funny. Normally I would prefer to do it a little bit better than that. But this tunnel shape doesn't really adjust to how I normally would have wanted to use them. Which is fine, to be honest. And so the few enemies that are touching over here aren't really lasting that long either. And just as I thought, they're going down that ramp instead of trying to walk towards my wall darts, and I'm not going to do anything about that, I don't think. Unless, maybe. Unless I could build a random set of walls that will just be really agitating. I mean, this opens it up so they have to go in through here, kind of. Which leaves me a lot of room to trap tunnel there, but I think because I've already started the defense, I don't really care. And I could actually just place a defender over there with a melee weapon, and then the defender will take care of all that. Why didn't I think of that until just now? There. Now the defender will kind of just take care of the handful of enemies that go in through that way. I'm not even sure if the enemies will have their spawns rotate or change. And I'm not really sure if I'm concerned about that, because the way that I've built was kind of to adjust for any direction. Only now that I look at my OBS that I see that my desktop audio slider has been actual max volume. I need to adjust that. But I don't want to screw with the audio of this video, so I'll do it later. Probably should have just not said anything about that. These are still like insanely mediocre tunnels. This is just like what I can do on on like my limitation. Why are you attacking that wall? Please don't, please don't, please don't. No, please don't. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. You can just walk. You need to attack every wall you see. I didn't level up that wall, so maybe that's why he was attacking it. Hey, well, there goes some wall traps, not for a fair reason, but just because this game has a bug. And it doesn't seem like they switched spawns at all. And just like that, successfully complete with only 11 of the files needed. Because I waited for the balloon to land naturally. Something seems suspicious about having two missions that I did pretty quickly in a row. This mission and the previous one. But anyways, I don't know. We got all of our typical rewards. 46,000 XP for 50% of files recovered. Thanks for your input on that, Ray.
We're closing in on Plank Harbor. How are those recruits doing, Major Oswald?
What do you say? Are you ready to see some real action?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes, sir.
I can't hear you!
Yes, sir.
Louder!
Yes, sir!
Do it backwards! It's called humor, look into it. Come on, let's go blast some clouds!
Oh. I was just remarking how I've had these two missions were pretty easy, and then Deep Blue Something's pretty easy. This one was surprisingly easy. And then now we have Sound Off, which requires completing a Fight the Storm mission in the 34 plus and a Category 2 Fight the Storm mission in the 34 plus. That's gonna be a little difficult, I think. Research again, we have 1300, so I want to invest that into. Did I not invest into Fortitude last time? Because I swear I did Fortitude and Tech. Ooh, llama. Oh, good, a random Fortnitemares llama. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. Let's see. Oh, shit. That's two good heroes. And two of these random low rarity things go to my collection book.